But I had my first child at 18. By 19, I have twins, so now I have 3 kids.
Freeze.
Yeah.
18, first child.
Yep.
And then a year later, you got twins.
A year later, I got twins.
So you're under 20 and you got 3 kids.
I've got 3 kids.
Are you married?
I had been married and divorced.
So married at 18,
Yeah.
divorced,
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
so you're 19 years old with 3 kids.
Yeah. Sometimes you're looking for somebody as a sign, and you may be it. So It's possible. Because if you know it's possible, then you know that it can be done. Now you got to figure out where I got to go to get it.
Gotcha.
But is it possible, humanly possible? Yes. Do you have to have seen somebody do it? No.
Maybe not.
Maybe
Yeah,
not. You
right.
may be the trailblazer. You may be the one that sets it. So just know that it's possible. And that as long as you believe and you're willing to put the action behind the belief,
Knowing
you'll
that it's
get
right.
there.
So belief would be that thing.
Yeah, and to move with it.
So you go from Talladega to now you're teaching,
Yes.
you remarry,
Yes.
have another daughter.
Yes, I
So
do.
this time you got 4
I
daughters.
got 4 kids. Yes, 4 daughters.
And you're living in Birmingham now, actually getting set up to get your master's degree,
Yes.
working in one of the top school systems in the state of Alabama.
Yes.
Tragic hits
Yes.
with your husband.
Yep.
And again, you got to relocate.
Got to relocate.
And now it's you and 4 kids.
Yes.
Welcome to another episode of Hope Is Not Enough. I'm your host, T. Key, and today we have a guest, Miss Juanica Ball. Now, a lot of people see Miss Juanica today. They say she's funny, she's beautiful, she sings, she dances, she's on TikTok, she's an actress, she does all of those things, but no one knows the pressure that produced the passion that we see today. The little girl growing up in Chicago, tell us about her.
Well, first, thank you for having me. So, grew up in Chicago and in the era of the birth of hip hop and rapping.
Okay,
So
okay.
I am the Fat Boys, you got me, Queen Latifah.
Beatbox.
Beatbox. Oh yeah. All that. So, but I think something was just instilled as a drive or passion to want more. And you know, sometimes in your neighborhood you would see, just always seem like poverty. But then you go to another part of Chicago and you see wealth. And so something about me, DNA, just like I wanted that other side. So
Wow.
I remember thinking I want to be a newscaster. So I would practice
Okay.
speaking. And of course you get the judgment of, oh, you're
Yes.
trying to sound this way, because we sound this way. So you go through that. But I always kind of was not really in sync with everything around me, but more so what was driving me. Just
So
what I wanted.
how did you go from being this, want to be an artist, want to be all of that, and all of a sudden you go into the world of science and become a teacher? I mean, were you an A student when you were in school? I mean, what were some of the things that you did when you were young that gave you the indication that maybe I do want to be a teacher one day?
So honestly, I didn't want to work with children. And that was
Well, I don't believe that.
I did. But my mom would always say, you either gonna work with kids or work with animals. Because I was the kid that would bring the animal home that we found, and it couldn't walk, but I was like, Mom, it followed me. So I was that person. If there's an event going on with the family, I'm gonna probably make sure the kids are situated.
Gotcha.
But I had my first child at 18. By 19, I have twins, so now I have 3 kids.
Freeze.
Yeah.
18, first child.
Yep.
And then a year later, you got twins.
A year later, I got twins.
So you're under 20 and you
I'm
got
under
3
20.
kids.
I've got 3 kids.
Are you married?
I had been married and divorced.
So married at 18,
Yeah.
divorced,
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
so you're 19 years old with 3 kids.
Yeah. So to me, waking up to go to work with kids was almost like what your home was. And you wanted something different.
Gotcha.
Not that I don't love kids, but I just didn't see myself doing it every day, like correcting.
So being
guiding,
19
whatever.
with 3 kids, though, we got this.
Yeah.
Who is Juanica then? What are you thinking then? How are you? You know, you walking in the grocery store. You go. I mean, family looking at you. How are you feeling about yourself and your situation at that time?
It depends on what stage of it. There was a moment where I would always say, I got 3 kids, but I had twins because I wanted to clear up, like I didn't have like 3 pregnancies, you know, like this one gave me 2. And I felt like I needed to explain that because I knew the pressure and the judgment.
Yeah, like I was married at 18.
But I got divorced. I really tried to do it right, but it didn't work out right. So I felt like I wanted to explain. And there was a point where I would do that a lot. And I remember the moment when I stopped doing it because I know now it was the Holy Spirit or God conscious that said, they could all die. You don't have to have anybody. So you're almost trying to explain away their presence because of the decision. And so now it's like, so if their presence is that much of a problem, they could just not be here. Is that what you want? And so at that point, I stopped adding, I had twins or I added, I did 3 of my kids.
So with 3 kids at 19, what was your dream?
So,
because I mean, you know, a lot of people at 19, 3 kids, sometimes they just settle for whatever is around them. Are you dreaming at this moment? Are you thinking, do I go to school? Do I, you know, what are you thinking at that moment?
So the thing that I think I want to add up until that point is I've always been the dreamer. So I'm in Chicago and I'm sneaking out the house to go to rap competitions or dance competitions. Mom didn't know I'm winning, but I can't come back and tell nobody because I really wasn't supposed to be there. But I slayed the house. You got me? I'm asking my brother, can we, you know, do a group together? So I would do the rap, my brother would do the beatbox, or whatever. So still always that odd kind of kid. So when we get to Birmingham, we moved from Chicago, I find out that the School of Fine Arts is a public school. And so I didn't know that, but this was like the school that would be like fame for us. You got me? But you had to audition to get in. So I find out all the information. I tell my mom, I want to go to the School of Fine Arts. You got me? So I go, I audition, I sing the songs that I wrote. So my mind has always been like, oh, I see myself on the other side. I don't know how I'm going to get there, on the other side. You got me? So to the point, the reason why I got kicked out of School of Fine Arts is because I ran away to go to New York. So
you're I'm gonna follow my dream.
I'm driven, but my how is off. So because my how is off, it's leading me down roads that my drive it could be detrimental to me.
So what were some of the pressures and the challenges that you face just growing up? You know, from if I did a snapshot from 5 to 18, your greatest challenges were what?
So one of the greatest challenges I would have to say is it wasn't until I was about 18 when I told my mom my uncle had been messing with me, had been molested. My mom, I always thought my mom was a cop because she always had a gun and she was loud. You know, like she didn't mind showing it, she didn't mind coming out with it. So I believed everything she said. So I remember her saying, like any parent would, if somebody mess with y'all, you got me? You let me know, like I'm gonna take care of it.
And you think she's gonna kill?
Yes, and I'm thinking she's gonna be in jail. So for a long time, that kept my silence. The other thing that kept my silence was once I didn't tell the first time, I couldn't explain the second time why I didn't tell the first time. So I was paralyzed by the fact that I didn't say anything at first. And so that you know, being paralyzed like that, then that justified the third time, the fourth time, why didn't you say? Why didn't you say? So having to pretend like everything's fine in settings was the hardest thing. But then it became a crutch because that means I knew how to appear but not be okay. I knew how to function, you know, but secretly you're failing inside.
So even though you're smiling, but underneath.
Yeah, I'm hurting.
And so with all of this going on, you still hoping.
Oh yeah.
You still dreaming.
Yeah, because I was that kid that when I watched the typical African-American movies, I already knew what roles they were gonna give us. I knew that we was gonna be the drug dealers. I knew that somebody was gonna be pregnant. I knew that somebody was gonna be. Yeah, and so my thing was I noticed early on that we were stereotyped. And I hated that. I knew that if I would talk like this, you know what I'm saying, and talk like that, then my people would accept me. Because
so you trying to break that stereotype?
Yes, because it was always a lower stereotype. It wasn't like, and so even if you articulate it, it was almost like, you're not us. You know, you're not like us. And so everything that was typical was also the bottom. So I was like, that can't be true. Why can't I say my letters all the way? Right? So I was that person. So to say that, so one, you get a person like me, so I'm married at 18, I'm going to the military. They try to talk me not going to the military, I'm going to the military.
Going to the military. Wow.
Because my recruiter said they have bands and they can sing in the military. Now, I really didn't think about I was going to give my life. I just picture.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the stage singing.
On the stage singing in the military. So, this is probably the job of a recruiter. So at the end of the day, I saw myself, I'm going to the military. I love structure. I loved ROTC. Things like that.
Gotcha.
So when I get ready to go, I had been engaged, my senior year, I was engaged in high school, so all the stuff. So I'm seeing my future. I'm the kind of person that's like, if we're not going anywhere, what are we doing with this relationship?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
So you always been like driven to a,
where are we
so
going?
At 19, you have 3 kids.
Yeah.
And you say, I'm going to go to college.
So it didn't work.
How do you do that?
And it's funny. I wish it came like that. But it came another way. I actually thought if I went to work, you would be able to live the life that you dreamed about.
You
like
could just work hard and right.
So I work at the Waffle House. That's not getting it. I worked at Chick-fil-A. That's not getting it either. I worked at a place where I was waiting tables and it was a church-owned facility. So when my kids got sick, I was able to say, I need to bring my kids to work tonight. My kids would sit here.
Gotcha.
But I realized, and I was dating somebody, and it was just never enough. The car couldn't make it here. I got to cross the street to catch the bus, and somebody stole his car one time and defecated in the car. I mean, it's real. It's the ghetto stuff. It's the ghetto stuff that I didn't see my life like, and it's like, who steals a car?
This doesn't look like right.
This doesn't look like me, and so now I'm realizing there's a piece I must have missed because I'm going to work. I'm not making enough money. I'm this. I can't buy the car. I can't buy the clothes. You got me. I remember going in the store when I had my first child only, and I wanted to take pictures like a Kmart, Sears. They would always have pictures.
On the yes.
And
Ola Mills or whatever it was.
Right. You could go back there. I couldn't afford. And so I remember taking the outfit that she has on the picture. I stole it out the store to put on her so we can go take the pictures. So it was almost like I'm still trying to reach the dream. I just don't know how to get there. You got me? And so now I'm 19. I got 3 kids. I know somewhere I missed a sign. Like it's almost like, how did I get here like this? At the person I'm with, I'd never been in an abusive relationship, So now I'm trying to deal with somebody yelling or, trying to sell drugs.
So all this is new.
But it's all the typical ghetto stuff. You got me? So
you're saying that I'm not.
That I'm not. I'm like, I know this situation is this, but I'm not. I'm having to go down to the food stamp place. When it was, you go down, you get the stamps, stand in line around the corner, and you get to the front, and then later tell you, hey, something's wrong with your stamps. You got to now go in another building and see if your worker can see you. So now you stand in line to go get the stamps, realize something's off. Now you got to go back in. You got to bring your kids with you. But I also got to say, I don't really know who the baby daddies are.
What do you do when you lose the passion, but you still have to show up to work every day because you need the paycheck? I mean, you have the degree, you have the skill set to do what you're going to do, but sometimes we need that boost, right? What do you do when the thing that you used to love, now you don't even like it anymore, right? Sometimes we need a boost. Everyone say, I need a boost. Somebody say burnout. What do you do when your passion doesn't match your paycheck?
Because now you're going to use that as the income. And that's how you're going to judge.
Because if you say that, then they got to look them up and do it.
So I got to present myself.
So you're smart enough to understand how to play the game once you're in the game.
Yes.
But this is not the game that you were designed to play.
It's not it. I recognized early, like even, if your hair is neat, because most people for some reason didn't associate greatness or just order with us. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I knew if I came down and I did my own makeup, if I did my own hair, it was like, oh, you went and paid for somebody to do your hair, or you paid for this. So
but you're doing it yourself.
Right. So you almost got to sell the move. Like, I can't be all together. I can't really be all who I am for you to believe this. I know not to go and talk articulate.
So how did you land yourself in a college classroom?
So what happened is I'm doing a food stamp thing. I'm going down. And I read somewhere on a paper that they will pay for you to go to a 2-year college and pay for your kids to be in daycare. So I didn't know that. So now school becomes an avenue. I really didn't think about going to college. Like,
Gotcha.
I really
it's a daycare. You can go to.
Right. Well, I mean, I didn't think about going to college when I was in high school.
Gotcha.
You got me? I didn't understand.
It's just follow the dream at the time.
Yes, I believed in what I had enough could get me there. I just didn't know the roads of how to
So
get
how
there.
did you go from that to becoming an AP biology teacher in a high school, getting teacher of the year?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. How did you determine a major? Like how?
So what happens is I enroll in Miles College. Miles College is a 4-year college. So I enrolled in Miles College. So I'm learning now how to do the paperwork. I get my kids in daycare. You got me?
Gotcha.
So now my kids got a place to go. I get to go to school. And it was after maybe my first semester that I realized that I'm at a 4-year college. They're not going to pay for my last 2 years. But if I go to an associate school or a 2-year college,
Gotcha.
I would finish with a degree. So I didn't know any of this language at all.
But you're already in the 4-year college.
I'm in the 4-year college. So I transfer from Miles College to Lawson State.
Okay.
So I go to Lawson State, and it's at Lawson State where my life pivots. So at Lawson State, I'm doing my work, and I don't realize I'm gonna get a refund check because I did my work.
Yeah, the Pell Grant, yeah.
Right. Or I didn't realize they would offer me a scholarship for doing something I'm trying to do with my life. You gonna pay me because I'm trying to better myself? Like I was like,
you were amazed at that.
I'm like, does everybody know this? Like, where was this at? So there were times when I didn't have enough money. I still got to get my kids to daycare. So there were times when I had enough money to catch a cab to get my kids to daycare, and then I'd walk the rest of the way to school. And it was certain things I learned on the walk. I realized there was a way I could walk where people didn't realize that I still had another 20 minutes walking.
Yeah.
Versus
So you're walking
my
like you
house
just
right
rather
there.
get, gotcha.
Yes. It took me a while to realize
Oh,
there were
God.
times people would offer me a ride, and there were times when people wouldn't. And it was, and I
It was the way you walk.
And it was the way I was carrying myself, because it was like, how do you know that I'm not walking here,
Right,
as
right.
opposed to, oh man, you need a ride, don't you?
Gotcha.
You got me. And there were times I had to get in the car with people because I couldn't.
Right.
I wasn't gonna get there in
The
time.
distance, right,
The
right.
distance was. So a part of that began to become a part of a greater drive. But while doing that at Lawson State, I take my science classes that I have to take. And in taking science, I'm always intrigued with the how and the why of things. When I went to college, my first major was because I was fascinated with people that could type and not look at the letters. Now I know that seems crazy.
I know this.
But the fact that you could say
And not
look.
right. I wanted to do that. You wanted to be.
I want to be a secretary.
Wow.
That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a secretary because I just couldn't understand. Like,
How could they do that?
How can you do that? How
Right.
can you know where all the letters at and do my work?
And then science just kind of creeps.
So science crept in. I remember my science teacher in college, and we had to take the finals. But the day it was, daycare was going to be closed. So I never told anybody I had kids. There was no different degree that you was going to give me. I wasn't coming trying to get kitty for that.
Right.
So I never advertised that. And I understood how to carry myself in a way. So I had to let them know I had kids because I need to ask, can my 3 kids come to school with me while I take this final? And I knew my kids was going to do right. And sit here. And
you knew you had to take that final.
I had to take the final. So he allowed me to bring my kids. I brought a towel or a sheet or whatever, gave them some crayons, some colors, whatever. So my kids were there. I'm taking my final. I'd stop, go to the bathroom, take them to the bathroom, I would come back. It was at that point that I was offered a science major, like a science scholarship, because I had made a 4.0. It was around this time where the guy I was dating, I'm like, I can't keep doing this because it was still toxic.
Gotcha.
So I got to get out of that. I was around that time, my dad had died, and now we're getting some money from his death.
Right.
So my mom helped me get my first car, and now I can kind of move around and kind of see a little bit.
You're getting a glimpse.
Yes, but I hadn't thought about education being a door. Like I didn't have it. I just knew what I had, but I didn't know that I needed another door. So now education is presenting itself to me in a way. So at this point, I get all A's. I'm inducted to Honor Society. I'm inducted into Science Honor Society, biology, whatever. I'm over the school, like all those programs I'm in. And so at some point, I realized you can have an intern for science. So that's my first summer. I go to Talladega College.
Gotcha.
And I intern there just for the summer to do science. I'm still blown away. Like I'm blown away that you're gonna pay me like $1,000.
You give me opportunities and right.
You're gonna take care of my housing. You're gonna take care of my food. I'm like, I didn't even know this world existed.
Gotcha.
So now that gets Talladega on the map in my mind. So what happens is I find out later that the gentleman over Talladega Science Department and the president of Lawson State have a conversation. He says, I got 10 scholarships. He said, I can give them out. He said, who would you pick? So he's talking to the president of Lawson State.
Of Lawson State.
And he's asking, who would I pick? And so the president says, Dr. Perry Ward said, I'll put everything I have on, at the time, Watts is my last name, Juanica Watts. He said, I'll put everything I have on it. So then I'm offered a full scholarship to go to Talladega.
So now when we talk about this whole thing is called hope is not enough, but you still got to have it. And at the time, you're hoping just for a better life.
Yes, yeah.
And, you know, the things that you're sharing that you didn't know. You know, we always say knowledge is power. Yes. And if you don't have it, you know, someone may be watching right now thinking that I don't have what I need to get where I'm trying to go. Right. But you took what you did have. What would you say to them who a person who's watching is thinking that they're hoping for something better, but they don't know that they may have to get in motion with what they can do? What would you say to them? So
what I would say is, it's possible. And so even if you've never seen somebody do it, then you may be the trailblazer. You know, somebody's got to be the first one to chart the path. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you walk on a road and it's already dirt down. It's already turned this way, left way. Right. You don't really think about the fact that there had to be a first person to do this down and make this walk. Yes. Sometimes you're looking for somebody as a sign, and you may be it. So it's possible. Because if you know it's possible, then you know that it can be done. Now you got to figure out where I got to go to get it.
Gotcha.
But is it possible, humanly possible? Yes. Do you have to have seen somebody do it? No.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. You may be the trailblazer. You may be the one that sets it. So just know that it's possible. And that as long as you believe and you're willing to put the action behind the belief, you'll get there.
So belief would be that thing.
Yeah, and the move with it.
So you go from Talladega to now you're teaching.
Yes.
You remarry.
Yes.
Have another daughter.
Yes, I do.
So this time you got 4 daughters.
I got 4 kids, yes, 4 daughters.
And you're living in Birmingham now, actually getting set up to get your master's degree, working in one of the top school systems in the state of Alabama.
Yes.
Tragic hits.
Yes.
With your husband.
Yep.
And again, you got to relocate. And now it's you and 4 kids.
Yes.
And at the time, this is when we're kind of moving. We're dreaming together.
We're dreaming together, yeah.
We're on stage. We're traveling all around the world. Yep. We're DYD, Determine Your Destiny, and Juanica Ball and Pete Key, and we're lighting the stage up.
Yeah.
And tragedy hits.
Yeah.
And we're like, what do we do next?
What do we do?
And you move to a small city called Florence, Alabama.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And when you move to Florence, it's, you know, it's been worse. It's been better.
Yeah, yeah.
And you meet a gentleman.
I do.
When you first arrived to the city.
Right. That's crazy, right? Yeah.
And life begins to shift.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that shift that happened when you moved here after all of those things that went on through your life.
Yeah, so coming here, well, first, what gets me here, our relationship and what God says to me, at this point, I can hear God's voice. At this point, I understand how he's talking to me. He started doing different stuff, talking through numbers also.
Gotcha.
So, but I know he says, follow my hand. So at this point, I've been driving back and forth here working. Mm-hmm. So, okay, well, God, I'm gonna follow your hand. I'm gonna go closer to the place where I have to drive to do your will. I'll just be here to do it. So they get to me here. So then I gotta find a church to go to. So then, of course, we over your house, just hanging out with me and the girls. And you invite your best friend over.
Yeah.
He comes and me and the girls harmonize and sing happy birthday.
Which is ironically.
Very ironic.
Around the same time.
Yes, really, like, like really, yes. And so that was about it. I remember the girls, laughing like, Mom, he's single. It's like, whatever, no.
And he just went through a tough divorce. Right. And I remember asking him if there was one thing you were looking for, not even thinking that you all would connect, you were looking for in a wife if you were to get married again, what would it be? He said, I need somebody who's going to be loyal and not give up when it gets hard. And he shared that, but we're not thinking about any of this.
No.
And all of a sudden, we go to this church.
Go to church, yep.
And you call me like, hey, how was that?
So let me tell you what drew me to him, and it was spiritual, which is what I love. I realized in the church, we end up at the same church. So I don't know that he's at the church until I go to the church.
Right.
So he's there, and hey, whatever. And so I remember reaching out to him because he would prophesy and he understood numbers. And at that season, God had started talking to me through numbers. Everywhere I would go, it was 220. He would take me to a place in every room was like 228, 220B. I said, I get it. I know you're trying to say something to me.
Something you don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is, but I know you are saying this to me. You're waking me up at this time. So I call him as a minister at the church because that was his gift, or one of his gifts that I recognized. So I call him like that. And to this day, I have the books. And when he was writing, he was talking, I was like, hold on a second.
Let me write this down.
Yeah, because he's explaining the street that I stay on and the street and about the blood. He's talking about.
And at the time, you got 4 daughters.
I got 4 daughters. One is in college.
Gotcha.
Yeah, one is a first grader, and then the other ones are like juniors. And so we all have to go through this shift. And so that's how I meet him on that spiritual road. And then after that, he would just call and he would just give me just words of God.
Wow.
Had to go out of town, was performing at Choices.
Yes.
He was like, let me meet you here. Let me check your oil. Make sure you're good. He knew I was going somewhere.
So he's looking out for you.
He's looking out for me. And then once we actually sat down and had breakfast wherever we were, from that point, every day. From that point, once I interacted and talked with him,
and you realized that,
I realized the gold, the gem inside, and who he was. Oh yeah.
And so at the time, he has 2 daughters.
Yes.
You have 4 daughters.
Yes.
You got a blended family.
Yes.
Now it's 6 of you all.
6 of us.
You're starting this relationship.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time when you wanted to give up and throw in the towel on the relationship?
There were times where I had to, almost like if you're sinking in the water and you're still throwing your hand up like help. One thing I said to him, the kind of person I am is, I'm gonna do everything I can. You're not gonna be shocked like, what happened? What did I do? Why we're not together? So I'm gonna talk. So it's not like you gotta worry about coming home and I'm gone. Like that's not who I am. I'm gonna do everything I can to make it work. And so in the fact of having to do what we needed to do to make it work, those were those moments where it's like, we need some help. This is not working like this. And if we don't get some help, we're not gonna make it through. You gotta be so those moments of reaching for help were those moments of saying, we gotta do something. Because if not, we're on the edge. And so that's how we made it through.
So when you think about just today, 4 daughters.
Yeah.
6 daughters, come on.
6 daughters.
How many grandkids?
I think we had 13 grandkids.
13 grandkids.
Yeah.
You're also taking care of your mom.
Yes.
The young girl who got molested.
Yes.
3 kids at 19 years old.
Right.
Want to be a singer, want to be a star.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're acting, you're singing, you're doing all of these things. As we close, if you could look into the camera, the person that's may have went through not just some of that and think that it's not worth living. I don't see myself going beyond where I am. Other than hope, what would you say they need to make it to where you are, even though you still may not be where you desire to be?
Yes.
But you are in a better place.
Right.
As we come to a close, if you was looking at camera, what would you say to them?
I would say to you, first, breathe. Just breathe. You don't have to have all the answers to figure it out. It's like a flashlight. I just need you to follow the next step. Follow that step. Sometimes trying to figure the whole thing out feels overwhelming, feels, undaunting. I don't know how to do this. Don't try to figure all of it out. Just make this next move. I know I need to get up today to go to work. When I come home tonight, I know I need to cook dinner. I know I need to take a bath. Okay, in the morning, I know I need to get up and I need to get them there. As you move in the direction of positivity, as you keep moving, you're gonna get your strength. You're gonna see something you hadn't seen before because now you're further down the road than you were. Just breathe. You don't have to have all the answers. Just believe and breathe and that it's possible and just keep going. Because being overwhelmed because I don't have all the answers.
Gotcha.
It's what sometimes make you feel like I can't do it because I can't see it out. I don't have to see it all out. I just got to see
the next step.
I just see the next step.
I don't know who's watching, but as we close, and we say that hope is not enough, Just breathe and believe for the next step.
Yep.
You may not have all the answers. You may not know exactly what you need to do. But from step A to step B, from step 1 to step 2. Hope is not enough. But you still gotta have it. To the next episode, just breathe and believe that it's possible.